How y'all are this afternoon? This is your buddy George Jones over at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on 8. I got this old used gun. The old used gun I got today is an old used gun, buddy. I'll just tell you right now. This is the 732 Harrington Richardson. This gun is often referred to as the Gaurdsman. In the same way that this same configuration of gun in 22 long rifle is often known as the knockabout or the, So anyway, we're going to look at this gun. Now this gun is what's commonly referred to as, or referred to in their catalog, old catalog, as the Gaurdsman. This is basically intended to be a economy-based medium caliber revolver for night watchmen and security guards and so forth that probably are not going to get in a gunfight every night or once a year or twice a year, but do need some kind of personal protection gun. And this one is in caliber 32 Smith & Wesson L, 32 Smith & Wesson long. That's this guy, and we're shooting wad cutters today, so you know, this is the 32 Smith & Wesson long with wad cutters. That seems to be what's available from S&B nowadays, is the wad cutter. And that would be appropriate because the 32 Smith & Wesson long caliber and guns are typically considered to be fairly accurate. We're going to put that to the test right here. I went down there and put up a B-27 police silhouette target, or B-21 police silhouette, and a shoot and see, and we're going to see how we're going to do. I'm going to fire 12 rounds, a total of 12 rounds, 6 on double and 6 on single, and see how it actually works out. The Gaurdsman, originally when it came out in the 1930s, and they started calling that version the Gaurdsman, it had a pull pin frame where you just pulled the pin out and the cylinder dropped out in your hand. This one is of the swing out cylinder variety where you pull it and it just swings out and then you can eject that way. This one has semi-adjustable rear sight on it. It has the standard big blade that just about all of the newer Harrington Richardsons have. This one actually has a rear sight in it. This rear sight blade is aperture is held in place by 2 little tiny sit screws, and those walk out eventually and you lose the rear sight. And you see a lot of this style gun with a homemade rear sight in it, like my Harrington Richardson 922, okay? Which I've made 2 rear sights to go in it, and I finally got around to JB welding the last one in to where I won't lose it. Anyway, it is a pretty cool little gun. I haven't shot it yet. We're going to try it out. All right, let's load her up and see what happens here. Let's see. Let's get us about 6 rounds of these here wad cutting rounds. Again, the purpose of the wad cutter is to cut a clean hole in a paper target. That's what wad cutters are for. And subsequently, they cut a clean hole in a human being. You know, that wad cutter ammunition typically not loaded very hot. They did some studies a few years ago on various types of ammunition in relationship to wound creation. The wad cutter for the first initial entry is like drilling a hole in someone. It creates a hole that doesn't close back up. Beat it, fly. Red-eared fly right there, no good for nothing. All right, beat it, you shoot. All right, let's put some ear mufflers on here and try this gun out and see how it actually shoots and sees. 6 on double action. Let's go for it right here. Hey, that's actually hitting that thing. Boop, tire behind the target. It's hard all the way through. It doesn't stage, you know, like a Smith & Wesson revolver would. It's hard all the way through. All right, that's 6 of them. Let's get them in the old brass bucket over there. There we go. Find the 6 more shells this thing. I can see it down there. It's starting to look good. 32s are known to be an accurate cartridge. Before everything got so fancy, the 32 Smith & Wesson long was pretty much the standard free pistol revolver cartridge for Olympic style shooting, all the way from the turn of the century up until probably the 1960s. I think some of the manufacturers that design free pistol and so forth and market them, you know, single shot pistols are available in 32 Smith & Wesson. Subsequently, there's a lot of that style shooting in Europe, so that's probably why Siller and Bellot have made this cartridge, made it so available. All right, single action, acetaction. Okay. All right, acetaction, single acetaction. Yeah, cute little gun. Nice, pleasant to shoot gun. All right, I see the dirty bird down there. Let's go. Let's take a look at it. Take a look at it. See what the accuracy looks like. Howdy-dee. Gee, that looks pretty good. Cheapest 32 caliber 4-inch revolver can be found. All right, let's count them up. Looks like 2 right there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. One down to drop one. That's very acceptable accuracy from both methods of fire. H&Rs are known to be cheaply manufactured from good quality material, and they're also known to be very reliable and very accurate. You hardly ever see one that's tore up, and you hardly ever see one that won't shoot straight. So, you know, the little Gaurdsman, you know, if you're a night watchman, you want to stick that thing in your back pocket, that'd be a good gun to use. You know, back in the day when this style of gun was actually a pretty common police gun at one time. Before all of the tactical stuff kicked in, you know, policemen would carry, especially in major metropolitan cities, carry the style of gun. Back in the day when you just had common bucket holsters, and you know, you had loose rounds in your pocket, and the firearms training and firearms equipping and so forth wasn't as organized as it is today. You know, policemen wore great coats in the wintertime, and they basically walked around with their pistol in their back pocket or in an open top holster, you know, with 6 extra rounds in their pocket loose, you know, and that was policing. It was the way it was done. Today, that's just not acceptable. However, a gun with this kind of accuracy and this kind of reliability as a personal defense arm, this is acceptable. You could use this gun. This gun is very workable and very serviceable, like most Harrington Richardsons are. You know, I've got this guy, you know, it's my woods loafer. You know, this guy. which is the exact same gun, including homemade rear sight, in 9-shot 22 long rifle. And it's very acceptably accurate. So people are kind of down on the old H&R revolver because, oh, they're cheap and it's Saturday night special. I'm like, no, baby, it ain't. Hey, look at that. I can put that gun on the job. Look at that. Anyway, that's about the size of it, the old 732 Harrington Richardson revolver that seems to be a $150 tack driver. I estimate the value of this gun somewhere around $150 to $175. It works, it shoots straight, it's reliable. Finish is about 95%. Overall, it's a very acceptable gun. Well, all right then, like, take, share, commentate, and subscribe. I want to mention something else too. One of our material supporters here at the channel is Apache Armaments. Last week I reviewed 2 brand new firearms. Now I had to return those firearms to Apache Armaments, but they were brand new when they came to the range. When they left the range, they were used guns. That's taking about $100 to $125 of value off of a $500 gun. That's good support right there. They support this channel really well. So I just wanted to mention that. Apache Armaments, they have a .com. We got a little website. Apache buys used guns from the state police gun auction, and I generally get a big bushel basket full of them and inspect all of them and try and get the price on them and get them out. And the dogs that we get stuck with, you know, we sell off as parts guns, not as whole functional firearms. And you know, it's Class 3 dealer, Title II manufacturer, you know, the whole thing, and like that. So they're a fine supporter to this channel, and I just wanted to put out another shout out to them. All right then, we'll see y'all when we see you. Bye now.